Here we go. Hey, everybody, it's your hospitality friend, Glenn, and I got Bill Fanning with Stay in Touch, Klaus Kohlmayr with ideas, and hey, I got a great idea. We're going to talk about hospitality technology and my friends over at NYU, where, believe it or not, back in the day, I was an adjunct professor. So they did a big study about technology. What's it all about, Bill?
Yeah, it's about the discussion around when to choose a best-in-class platform versus when to choose an all-in-one platform.
Yeah.
And we went out and interviewed, 300 plus hoteliers somewhere in there and learned a lot from each one of those about how people are making those decisions.
And it's really interesting, Klaus, because we're really seeing two distinct strategies, whether or not to go in that best of class and, choose one from column A, choose one from column B, or just align with one company. And there's some wisdom behind both those strategies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and the interesting fact that we see from the data is that when the more you're an independent hotel or less complex hotel, the more you're choosing, more that they need the best, the all-in-one solution, because you want the ease. You want to deal with only with one vendor. But as you're becoming more complex, or if you're part of a bigger group or more hotels, then it's more of a best-in-class solution. And 68% of the hotels between 100 rooms and 250 rooms actually go with the best-in-class solution versus the all-in-one solution.
That's pretty interesting. And that was going to be my next question. How do you know what is probably the smartest strategy to go with?
I think Klaus touched on it, which is how much complexity do you have in your business. And the more complexity in that business and the more specialized you are in each of those different business units, probably more geared you're going to be towards a best-in-class type of a solution.
Right. Bear, what do you think? I'm agrees. Yeah, he's a little crabby right now. I think he went for a best-in-class solution when he should have gone for more vertical-oriented solution. So, what else is it just showing? Because that's pretty basic. But when you go down one of those tracks, what did you learn on each of the sides of the equation?
I think the other interesting fact is that 51% of the hotels, the responding hotels, said they're going to replace their tech stack in the next 12 to 24 months.
But are they really going to replace their?
Well, that's what they're saying, you say. What we have seen over the last 3 years internally in our company is we believe that 70% of our clients are undergoing or will replace their tech stack, primarily PMS and CRS. So we have some facts and some data to back it up. So I do believe that there's going to be a lot of hotels that are changing and upgrading to the next gen systems.
But that's just and just generally speaking, that's a really hard choice because you have to make all of these investments, but it's not necessarily things guests can see or touch or feel. So I understand that all of you out there are stressed out as it's getting a little bit harder to make those margins work for you.
Yeah.
But that investment is so important, isn't it, Bill?
It's incredibly important. And especially when you think about piecing together a few different pieces of technology, you want to make sure that those things are going to work together really well. Yeah. So integrations, for example, is going to be a really important thing to take into consideration. The other two pieces that came up a lot in this was ease of use and support.
Right.
And how important it is for a hotelier to be able to train up their team really quickly, for them to be able to get it and culturally adapt to it, and how easy is it for me to get support if I need some help with something.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot more emerging programs on micro training and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Really the whole idea of utilizing technology to free up people to be people.
Right. And I don't necessarily agree with you when you say people can't feel and touch it. Because people should feel it in their customer journey. They should feel it when they have digital and mobile experiences that are better than before. They should feel it when they can interact with a chatbot more efficiently than 2 years back. So that ultimately should translate in a better guest and customer experience.
I completely agree with what you're saying there, and I love that you disagree with me.
I love that too.
Well, I do, because it's not just fun that. Because it's freaking awesome, because that's the only way that we're actually going to solve problems, right? If everyone has the same thought, then that's a problem. And I think one of the bigger issues that we have in our industry and society in general is that lack of critical thinking and kind of parroting back things. So when you get through that and you're making these choices, how do you actually go about it? Because I'm finding what hoteliers are telling me is they want to make changes, but their teams have still got to do the work. So what's the right balance when taking either one of these strategies?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things to keep in mind. One is, do you have expertise in-house that can take advantage of what each of these platforms can actually do?
Yeah.
Two is really a larger strategic decision around de-risking your tech stack.
Right.
And making sure that you're not completely dependent upon one particular tech stack. Should they get acquired at some point, or should they decide to merge with somebody else or build some light functionality across the board?
Yeah.
Are you in a position to work with someone who could take advantage of the functionality that each of these point solutions have that do real well?
Yeah.
And the fact is that even if you go with a best-in-class solution,
Right.
it's still part of an ecosystem, right? And we just had a conversation before. A lot of times people don't think about how it connects to all the other pieces in the ecosystem that they're using. You know, you have to think about the integrations, you have to think about the connectivity, you have to think about how data flows efficiently, and how does it make your employees' life easier in the end, right?
That sounds, yeah, you said it great, but you're a technology guy.
Right.
You're a technology guy. A lot of people are more creative and entrepreneurial there, so they may not see it as easily, true, in my opinion. So any advice to help people get past some of those I don't know what I don't know barriers to be able to make the right decisions?
Yeah, I think one of the big ones is the technology portion of it shouldn't be the hardest piece.
Right.
Like when you're implementing new technology, you should have support around each of those organizations you're partnering with. It should make that technology switch pretty easy. It's the cultural shift in the actually adopting that technology to take the best advantage of it,
Right.
which is important for people. That has nothing to do with technology. Is can we train them and can they digest that information well enough to be able to leverage it to the maximum?
So again, seems like everything in moderation. You got to do it, but you got to do it in a smart, well thought out way that's not going to get your teams freaked out and quit or fear.
Of course, yeah. They're already stressed enough and they have enough to do already on the day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Any final insight that you guys?
No, I mean, we're really happy that we had a bunch of graduate students at NYU do the research for us and help us find those great outcomes and great data. And we did a similar report a couple of years ago about attribute-based shopping, so we'll probably do more in the future.
I have a feeling that this probably more validated what you were thinking and experiencing versus surprising you because you've been in it. That being said, was there any little nugget in there that made you go, "Oh, interesting. I didn't expect that."
I didn't expect the change from the amount of folks that were saying that are on an all-in-one platform that are going to be looking at more specialized types of solutions across the board. I expected there would be some for sure. I didn't expect it at the numbers that we saw there. But I think most of that is just because you've got organizations that are growing and they're getting more complex.
Yeah, and emerging, right, as you mentioned.
Yeah, a lot of merges and acquisitions going on out there. Hey, maybe y'all want to buy my company, his company, his company. I don't know. Make your best offer. Any final?
No,
Birds?
it's great.
All right, maybe you want to buy a bear. We have a big sale going on right now. But in order to get access to the special sale, you got to share, like, subscribe this video. Thanks to Klaus. Thanks for Bill. I'm Glenn. See y'all later.